Peace, y'all. This is God in them streets. I was getting ready to do this one right here live for the first time. I got my brother Kushan with me. Hey, we gonna be going through, a couple of degrees, being that we going into the new, on the Gregorian calendar, it'll be wisdom, cipher, wisdom, culture. Which they classified as 2024, which is 2024 years after the so-called death of Christ, because they say AD. 2024 or the Greek Greco calendar, borns build, destroy, divine, and according to the Asiatic calendar, right? We know that 15,020 was the year of 1934. So that's approximately born cipher years, which is 90 years from 1934 to now is 2024. And from 15,020 on the Asiatic calendar until now is 1610, which is knowledge, equality, knowledge, cipher, which also borns, build, destroy, or divine. Today's mathematics, because we only have understanding cipher lessons in 2 degrees. We got it in the 1 to 36, which is no, the trader disappeared, and there was no one here to speak his language. We also got the understanding cipher degree in the 1 to 40, which is tell us what and how the devil was made. These are important degrees because in those degrees it speaks about separation. And the understanding cipher degree in the 1 to 36, it said no, the trader disappeared and there was no one left here to speak his language, right? That means that what? We were separated from our uncle who knew our language, but now we was left here with the one that was the trader, the same one that made the interorientation. So nowadays we got a problem going on with inside our very own cipher, where a lot of individuals is separating our reality or who and what we are, as far as being the 5% or the nation of gods and earths. I say Allah's 5%, nation of gods and earths. The reason why is because when the first group of brothers and sisters got it, they was called the sons and daughters of Allah. When we got it, after the Father returned to the essence, we got it as Allah's 5%. But before our Father returned, He made sure that we knew that we was going to grow to be a nation. And the reason why I state that, because the brother that gave it to me back in 1976, that was around our father, and was one of the brothers that when the father came home from Mattawan, he told them that you are no longer just the sons and daughters of Allah, but just like I was your father, I am now your brother. And our children and our women remain that, but now we had a job to do to build as a nation. In the knowledge equality degree, or who is the 5%, you got different individuals mentioned in that. The only group that is mentioned in that pertains to us is the true and living gods. And that's because the civilized person, the Muslim, and the Muslim son is still bearing witness to God other than being in the flesh. So it's not until the understanding born degree where they say, tell us, do you hope to live to see the gods take the devil into hell in the very near future, that they talking about us. And the reason why I'm building on all this before I put my brother on is because, like I said, and what I was always taught, is the first tool of making devil is to begin with separation and grafting. That's why it says, tell us what and how the devil was made. The devil was made from the original people by grafting and separating the germ. Inside the black man body, there exist two germs, a black germ and a brown germ. Yakub, with his law on birth control, separated the brown germ from the black germ by destroying the black germ. After following this process for 600 years, the germ became no more original. It was no longer black. It was no longer original. Also, by thinning the blood, the germ became weak and wicked. It was no more the same. Thus, this is how Yakub made devil. I may not have quoted it word for word exactly, but you get the point. And the point is that we got to stop with the separation that we got going on within us. Because as long as we dealing with separation and graftation of things that's other than our way of life or our language, then we can easily be led what? Astray. So now that I went through today's mathematics and a few degrees leading into this new cipher, or as they would say, this new year that is to approach, without further ado, I'm going to bring my brother Kushan Allah on with me in this interview while we driving and building like gods do. And one more thing before I add on. They say understanding is the best part, it's the child and it's the star of life. But I was also taught that understanding simply means to undergo and be left standing upright, perpendicular on your square. Because it says Allah is the Lord of all the worlds. You got all type of worlds out here. You know, you got the prostitution world, you got the drug world, you got all different type of worlds. There's only one universe. The universe is everything. The sun, moon, and stars. Man, woman, and child. So stop falling victim to all these different worlds. Like we had a plus degree back in the days, which was called the bona fide fools. You know, the pimp hustlers, slicksters, all that. This is one big fake world right now. And the only thing that's true and living is us with the knowledge of self. So, Kushan, how would you first introduce to the knowledge of self and the 5% nation of gods and earths?
Well, you know, like before I got in the military, it was a brother who came down to Plymouth, North Carolina. His name was Divine, and then a few other brothers came down from Brooklyn. They had names like Truth, Supreme, but I later on found out that they didn't really know no lessons. They were just coming down with the names or whatever, you know. But ultimately, I ran into some guards over in Korea, right? And when I was there, the guards, they thought I was from Brooklyn, and so they told me I could run with them down at the clubs, and then ultimately me and the brother start building, and the brother's name was Master Equality.
Okay,
You know
so I want to stop you just for a second, and I will stop you in little interviews so you can explain a little bit more detail. So would you say that those first brothers that you ran into in Plymouth, right, that they dropped the seed of knowledge on you? They could not further you in what you was looking for and the journey that you was about ready to take into getting the full knowledge, but they dropped the seed on you. So now when you got into the military and you ran into these other brothers that thought, you was from Medina or whatever, that was more or less putting you on the path.
See the thing, what them brothers planted was God being a man. The black man was God. That's what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first time I was ever hearing something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I probably was around about knowledge power, something like that.
Knowledge power is 15 years of age.